Hello. So let's talk about Meghan Markle and the coronation. I feel like we've talked about this so much, and yet it's like every other day there's a new revelation, something new regarding King Charles's coronation, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, their children, Prince Archie and Lilibet, Prince William, Kate, the whole 9 yards. And so I wanted to just come back on because oftentimes when there's a little bit of some negative press regarding Meghan and Harry, they revert to their go-to publication, which is People Magazine, to basically, pay to play. They're going to be explaining what their problem is and all of that. So we're going to talk about Meghan Markle and about what is her real reason. She's not going. Why? She's not going to the coronation. Why is she not going to the coronation? Is it really what we think? So let me know where you're all from. Hello from Maryland. I'm from Florida, also Illinois. I'm glad that you guys are here. I hope you've been checking out some of my videos lately. I actually came across some content that I am producing just in my shorts regarding the Kennedys and the royal family too, which is very interesting. While I'm waiting for people to come on from Texas, come on. I love it. Yeah, I discovered that this has nothing to do with what we're talking about tonight because we're going to talk about Meghan. But hello from Michigan and Tampa. Can you hear me? Like I'm like basically a shout away. Hey, I thought you were from the UK, Miss EH. Okay, Irene. Hello from New Hampshire. Yeah, what I was just mentioning before I get into it, Arkansas, was I just did some shorts regarding the royal family and the Kennedys, and I did not know that Joe Kennedy, the father, the patriarch, actually had been an ambassador from the United States for Great Britain during World War II, and there was a scandal, and he was basically canceled, kind of. Minneapolis in the building. Listen, how's the weather up there? It's like all psycho. You guys get like snow in April and May. It's crazy. From Corsicana, Texas. I love Texas. Okay, so I started this because, it always takes a second for people to come in, by saying that where's Green Cave? Is that in Arizona? I don't know. There's a place called Bat Cave in North Carolina. I always think that it's like Batman. Anyhow, we've all talked about Meghan and Harry for a long time, but there's this new article that they have with People Magazine and new revelations regarding her and him. And I want your opinions, because what I like to do with these lives is just kind of prompt the conversation. And then I like to see what your comments are. Hello from Missouri. So let's talk about this. I am Deanna, guys, from Hot for History, in case you don't know. And I basically do some quirky history content frequently. That's what I do. Many shorts. I'm starting to dive in a little bit to longer form video. I do, Hollywood history. I like really quirky, different types of history that your history teacher would not dare to teach you. But please do subscribe, share my videos. I'm also on Instagram. If you want to message me there, you can. It's like hot.for.history. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I will say that YouTube's my fave because it's just the long-standing social media platform that basically allows you to do like a million different things. So it is my favorite. But so let's talk about this next thing. Let's talk about this article. Let me just see how you guys are doing because I had to go to another screen. Hello from Arizona. Okay, cold, sleet. Yeah, because Minnesota, even Illinois, there was hail today in Illinois. Crazy. Okay, so I'm going to read this, guys, and then we're going to talk about it. So put on your thinking caps. Let me know your thoughts on what this is. Oh, green. See, I don't know. Barbara. Okay, near Jacksonville. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying. That there's a million different winters in Florida, like Winter Haven, Winter Springs, Winter Garden, Winter, whatever. It just gets confusing. Okay, so we're going to read this. We're going to talk about the People Magazine article. Basically, what's happening right now And Dawn, I will feature that comment in a second. What's happening right now is that everybody is all about like, okay, she said she wasn't going to come. It must be about the kids. But we all know that it's not about the kids. It's really not. And People Magazine is the go-to publication that they go to when they want to, like, I call it pay for, pay to play. They basically, like, in my opinion, well, what everybody thinks is that they kind of grease them to get their stories in. So this is what it says. It says, why Prince Harry is going to the coronation without Meghan. It's become so personal. You think it's personal? Yeah, it's been personal. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex reached a decision about attending King Charles and Queen Camilla's coronation that puts them half in and half out. And many people say that they knew all along that Meghan wasn't going to go and Harry was going to go. But anyhow, news that Prince Harry would attend King Charles's coronation without Meghan Markle laid bare the complex feelings. That's the key word. It's always about the feelings with them between the couple and the royal family. Buckingham Palace announced last week that the Duchess of Sussex, 41, will stay back in California with the children's couple, Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet, Prince Harry. Supports his father, as Prince Harry supports his father on May 6th crowning. King Charles is said to be pleased that his son is there, but the wider reconciliation so many hope for within the family has not happened. No reconciliation there. At this point, it's become so personal, a friend tells People Magazine. Maybe what they wanted wasn't achieved. In other words, they had some things that they wanted to happen. They wanted to be on the balcony. They wanted to sit in this spot. They wanted to, I don't know, whatever they wanted. But maybe what they wanted wasn't achieved. But at the end of the day, he's going there to support his dad. The ongoing rift between Harry and his family was evident late March when the Duke of Sussex was in London for a court hearing in his claim against Associated Newspaper, but didn't see his father. Okay, I don't know if that's fair to say because King Charles was kind of traveling, but whatever. Things are strange. And then it says King Charles 74 was deeply saddened by the book. He's saddened by what the accusations toward Camilla in Spare. I mean, they went from Netflix to Spare to like him doing his psychotherapy online about his awful troubled childhood. You had to pay to watch that. Okay. The coronation is going to be bittersweet for Prince Harry, who in addition to attending without Meghan, likely has no official role and is not. And yet, why do they not have any official roles? It's because they took themselves out of the royal family. Okay. That's fine. So they wouldn't have official roles anyhow under the best of circumstances, but they may have a little bit more preferential treatment had they not basically taken out all the dirty stuff and like told the world about it. A source who knows the royals tells People Harry will happily go along with whatever the plan is. That's good. And that his main concern about attending was the issue of his security, which has been addressed. With Prince Archie's 4th birthday. Now, this is bogus. They say that it's because of the birthday. And then a royal biographer says it's an elegant solution, meaning it's an elegant explanation that they had to stay for the birthday party. It gave them a reasonable out for Meghan not to come. But those closest to the couple know that the media backlash Meghan faced in the UK during Queen Elizabeth's funeral last year and in the 7 months since played a significant role in her decision. Meghan wants to be there. She wants to be there to support, this gets me, to support her father-in-law, but at the same time, the scrutiny she receives outweighs the support. There's always going to be that other side challenging their reasoning and who wants to put themselves in that position. Okay, I am going to read, and many people are saying that because she's not going right now, it's not good. It's not going to be good for their relationship overall. Okay. When I hear, and I'm going to take your comments, so go ahead. I'm going to feature them in a second. When I hear things like, she's like, well, I would go, but the media is going to be there and they're going to scrutinize me. There's this expression where it's like, Mom, it hurts when I do this. And then so you go, well, don't do that. Like, Mom, it hurts when I do this. Why are they scrutinizing over them? Why? They're scrutinizing over them because they keep getting into all of the fields and keep being like, we're on the privacy tour. Don't look at us, but please do look at us. Don't ignore us. So that's kind of what I feel is going on. All right. I'm going to take all of these. I'm going to go back to Dawn. Okay. This was before I even said it. She's from Alabama. I'm sorry. I don't like her. She seems very calculated and she knows what all she has done. Since she isn't the royal, she thought she would be. Yeah. Well, then she is making sure everyone will be miserable. That's my opinion. I feel very similar because, like I said, it's like it's all about, well, let me see. I can't go now. I want to go. There's one quote that said that she didn't want to go because she thought it would be inauthentic. Of course, after she's been like pounding them, all of a sudden she goes. Wasn't it inauthentic to say that her kids are prince and princess now after they hated the royal family? Or sounded like they hated the royal family. That's my opinion, because I'm sure they would not say they hated the royal family. They would say that they loved the royal family. So it's, but it's complex at the same time, because we talk about the dysfunction within the royal family too. Okay. So true. There are a lot of snowbirds who miss one. Okay, wait, I'm going to skip the weather part. Brooklyn, see okay. Yeah. I thought you were from the UK or something. Tampa, everybody from New York comes down here, or the Midwest. Your post, but she's a lovely person. If she doesn't attend to care for her children, so be it. Okay, so either way, it's fine. Thank you. You'll stop. Okay, well, I'm not going to change my. I'm sorry. The reason why I like what we do here is because we go back and forth. We call out the royal family and we call out Meghan. That's what we're going to do. We don't want you to go. Don't go. You can stay. But if you want to take away your stars, go ahead. I want to be pro them so bad, but she should have went. Yeah, that's what I think. I think she should have went too. I think she should have gone. That doesn't necessarily mean that they, ironed everything out and everything's okay, right? But I think it would have been the wise move to be with her husband. And I mean, of course, we're just speculating because we don't know the whole story, but that's what it is. And so I think she should have gone too. Okay, so Prince Harry and Meghan wanted the opportunity to speak to dignitaries at their luncheon. He wasn't invited to the other functions. Yeah, so they probably were thinking, well, we want to go so that we can do X, Y, and Z, but now we can't do X, Y, and Z. But it's one of those things that I said, it's like, don't do that if it hurts, right? So part of the reason they can't be talking to all of those people is because they don't trust them anymore. So that is the byproduct of their own actions, and probably the reason why, I mean, it can go both ways, right? So it is what it is. But Meghan is also always so emo. I wonder who it was that made the racial slurs. That it would be really interesting, since now they backtracked and said it didn't happen. Meghan just doesn't know how to play the game. I don't know. I think in some ways she knows how to play the game, in some ways she doesn't. So you're right. Like in other words, she plays her game, but she didn't really fall in line with what I think it'd be hard for any of us, especially those of us who are Americans, who are like very independent. We have our own opinions. We can talk to people and be in disagreement and continue on. But, I don't know. I think I think she's playing, I feel like she's playing one game, which is more American media. I'm a star kind of a thing. And I'm not blaming her for that because she was a celebrity, right? But being a royal is not about that. Being a royal is more like you're serving people. And yes, the byproduct is that you're famous, but it is a different kind of mindset. And that is the one thing that I don't think she got. So she didn't get their game. Absolutely. And she didn't get to play that game, but she still was playing her game at the same time. So, and I don't know. I mean, Chris Rock made that comment when he said, when they were asking about the color of the skin, he said, I mean, it's pretty funny on his special. He says, everybody thinks that. And I have a family that is mixed, so we've done the same thing. You do the same thing. I mean, my kids are from Ethiopia, and like, they will talk about Somalians. Like, it's just this, it's just this thing. And they'll talk about, I mean, it's just a thing. So, So I don't know if that was or not. Obviously, we know that the royal family has a history, long-standing history with slavery and everything, but I don't know if the queen specifically, I think they really welcomed her with open arms. So I don't know if that was really a slur or not. And after the fact, Harry said, he came back and he goes, "We never said that." He said, "Meghan and I did not say that. You guys surmised that based on what we said." So he backpedaled. I heard that King Charles is canceling a special birthday party for Prince Archie. Oh, because Archie wasn't there and they were going to have a birthday party. So, I mean, it's possible they probably were going to have a party for him. That's sad. I think it would have been so cool for him to have been, okay, celebrate Archie in Montecito, have a great party either after or before. But then, and I've said this before, make such a big deal about him being a royal, meeting the king, who's his grandfather. That makes you a prince. This is what it means. This is what a palace looks like. Teach him. I mean, he's old enough, like even at the age of 4, I would teach my kids. I'd sit them down and say, this is what it is. I'd start early at age appropriate, but I would tell them a little bit about their own family history. Maybe don't release. Yeah, maybe don't release the books, the TV shows, the podcasts, the interviews, trashing everyone, and then perhaps she'd get a better reception. I think it's hardly at this point for her to do what she says she wants, which is to be able to pedal back and get back on and in their good graces, because she says she wants to end the rift. That's another, I'll read that next. Another article that I read is that she wants to end the rift, and yet she doesn't want to go to the coronation. So I think what a lot of people see is this confusion and this sort of like, I don't know, like distraction and it's a little bit of, it's like gaslighting. I don't know what happened to Diana. I think if you're not in, you are just out no matter what. Yeah. I mean, that's what Sarah Ferguson says. Because Sarah's not even invited to the coronation, because after they were divorced, even though she's been with Andrew all these years, still with Andrew. She says you're either in or you're out. And if you're, it's not like you can have one toe in, and then the rest not. So that is just, that's what she says. Okay. So I'm going to read this, the article that talks about her kind of wanting to end the rift, which I think is, a good point. Hopefully she does want to end the rift, but it just seems it's such a mess. I mean, honestly, it's one thing to tell the truth and try to tell your story, but when there are other people involved that are your family, you need to understand that, yes, we love each other. The king loves them, but it's hard to then gain the trust back and the forgiveness back. It really is hard. And so you got to, I tell my kids this, be responsible for, how you treat the people that you love, right? Take them into consideration, try to be empathetic and all that. So Meghan, it says, is determined to make sure that there are no more rifts that will disrupt the family's harmony. Meghan Markle might be ready to end the feud between the Sussexes and the royal family. I want you guys to think about this. Like, do her actions show that she wants to end the rift? Like, I don't understand how you can go and do all of this stuff, a book, a special, all of this stuff, and then go, oh, but we don't, we're sorry. It's sort of like, let's punch them, beat them up. That's what narcissists do, honestly. They beat people up. And then afterwards they go, oh, can I take you out to dinner? You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, I don't know. Meghan Markle might be ready to end the feud between the Sussexes and the royal family, a report claimed, of King Charles' coronation. Her husband is going. She is not. Buckingham Palace confirmed the same, saying that they're pleased to confirm that Harry's going. Meghan Markle is determined to make sure that there are no more rifts that will disrupt the family harmony. She wants her children to know their grandfather. That's good. King Charles, which is reported by Page 6. Meghan Markle wants this as the children won't know their grandfather from their mother's side. Yeah. And why? Like, why aren't they knowing Thomas Markle? Like, he got totally cut off from one, it was a mistake that he did in basically exposing them, but they go and expose everybody, and they want to end the rift. King Charles is accepting them, even though they exposed all of their crap. But the fact that Thomas Markle made a little bit of a mistake, he's persona non grata forever, even though she was raised by him. He shouldn't, those kids should know their grandfathers from both sides of the family, in my opinion. She does hope that they will meet, and hopes that that her decision will be seen as an unselfish one. So she's saying now that she's not going because she wants to be unselfish, because she wants to keep the attention on him. And she just, but this is very self-centered. It's like, well, if I go, they're all going to be paying attention to me. Granted, but there's always drama anyhow. But it's not going to take away from the king, Meghan. It won't take away from the king. So she's saying that she's going to do this because she's trying to be unselfish by not going. She just really doesn't want the song and dance and everything being lived out in public eye about her. Meghan's decision to not be by her husband's side also resulted in some royal watchers saying that his attempt on her behalf to not distance the royal family further. Now, these articles on page 6 and People are very much, like I said, pay to play. It's like it's spoon fed to them what these sound bites are, right? Whether there's a solid reason behind this play or it shows Meghan's stance, one might reckon that they'd hit the pause button on their differences. However, only the royal family and the royal institution will know the full story behind Meghan's decision to stay away. Okay, now I want to hear what you guys have to say. I think Harry had to, okay, let me see. Harry had to give to get the children's titles. The British royal family is like the Kardashians. Plus, I think she's tired of all the disgusting racist press from people like Puke Face Pierce. Yeah, he gets on my nerves too. So, I mean, they have had to take a lot, but let me ask you this. Don't you think that some of the stuff is because it's like they've exposed so much? And again, I'm not saying that they're, the other side is innocent either, but it is hard to take, but at the same time, you're in it, like you're in the press. She's been in the press for a while. I don't know. I do think that Meghan couldn't win. I think that she couldn't win. I think that if she had decided, there would have been some other drama. So the way I think of it is like, if I go or if I don't go, they're going to be like, all on me. So why don't I just go? But, because they're going to be in it either way. I don't think that I think she would have been attacked either way. Okay, so Meghan is hosting an American birthday party. I'm sure it will be filled with celebrities. Absolutely. The family needs to heal. Okay, I feel sorry for King Charles because he wants to be the grandfather. He makes it so clear that he wants to be this grandfather, and he finds great joy in being around the kids. And he really wants to be closer to Archie and Lilibet for sure. Meghan doesn't want the British press to monetize photos. And that is, that's it, because they've been so careful about the kids. They still probably could have, but if they were requesting to be on the balcony, let's say it was going to be a family balcony thing rather than like just the staff or whatever, the seniors, then yeah, they would have had to have been careful about that, because they would have definitely been taking the pictures. But I believe they could have kept them out, of the camera's view if they just stuck inside. But there's going to be some time when they're going to, they've been successful, I think, at being able to control their images up to this point. But I think time has come where it's probably going to be harder if they're like in the public eye more, Yes, I agree. I think that it's like this statement here. I hope it's seen as unselfish that I'm not going because I don't want to take away from the king's moment. Her not going is also taking away. So like I said, it's like either way. Just go, because it's going to be dramatic either way. That this is something that we've discussed a lot. I have a viral video on the subject. And then for those of you who don't know, that there is a law that went back to like the 1600s, 1700s, where the monarch is actually has the custody of his grandchildren. So now and that was because at one point this one king, I think it was one of the Georges, basically had to get the custody of his kids because of his grandkids. But would it ever be would he ever really do that? Probably not. It would be because we would all, I don't care what you think of Meghan, everybody would freak out. There's like no American person I know, whether they hate her, kind of dislike her, love her passionately, who would handle that. Like it would be unacceptable. So, but technically, this is what I said in my video. What's scary is that law still is in existence. It's very unlikely for them, especially since he's the spare and those kids are further down. But it is, in my opinion, if I were Meghan, I would still be afraid of that. Like I would be like, wait, he has the cut. Like what? And that could have been why she bailed in the first place. I don't know. So it's a good point. I don't know if I can't imagine, Barbara. I cannot imagine. But the fact that it still is in existence is kind of creepy. Sarah Ferguson's going to the Coronation concert, but not the actual Oh, thank you for letting me know, Lee. Well, that'll be fun. That'll be fun to see her there because I always thought she was fun, quirky, out of the box, different, very honest. Queen liked her. Harry is a child of the crown. I think he is required to be there. I think he made the right decision, but I really think it would have shown kind of more of a united front if Meghan would have come. That would have been great. If she wanted family time with the royals, she shouldn't have left. I know you can't blame King Charles for not doing that when you don't give him a chance to bond with his children. I know that's true. Like he's just, they're just a family at the end of the day. Like what grandfather, I mean, most grandfathers want to see their grandchildren. They want to get to know them. They want to, spend some time with them. And, obviously now would be a hard time because it's the coronation, but, there was so much time for them to be able to have their children over there with the king. They had their house for the longest time. And you're right, Madison, she has been quiet. She has been really quiet. And a lot of people are saying things about their marriage because they were like inseparable, like always holding hands, hugging each other, constantly together. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, let's live separate lives. That's what it kind of seems like, but we don't even know. Why start a feud in the first place? They could have left the royal family quietly and lived their lives privately. I agree. There were ways for them to be able to come to America, do what they would need to do, still have the touch back, come back for holidays, keep your house there, go back, whatever. You have some business there, take care of certain things. They could have had both of it. They would have had to negotiate that, I'm sure. And on their side, they did have to, make money. So they had to figure out, like, how do we make money? And for some of us, it may seem like, oh my gosh, they had millions. What's the big deal? But they live like an expensive lifestyle. And he was not, making money anymore. And I think if I was in a position like that, it would be a hard thing to take. You have all of this money when you're in the royal family and when you're a senior royal, but you don't really have control of it all, of all of that. So it's a hard call because if you have huge goals and you want to make hundreds of millions, then you're not going to do that within the confines of the royal family. Your dad may have that. Your brother, who is, the future heir, they may have hundreds of millions, but you're going to have 25, 30 million, now he's got more. So I think, whatever. So Happy Max, she's full of poo. I think the only way Harry can save himself and kids is to get rid of her. Her relationship with her own family stinks. Absolutely. And it's sad because like when you start to like listen to Thomas Markle, like even Samantha Markle, as much as she's, bitter about Meghan or whatever, these are smart people. She comes from a highly intelligent family. It's crystal clear. And he Thomas Markle loves Meghan. That is his pride and joy time, multiplied. Like if you've watched anything, he loves Meghan, but how sad for him not to have his grandchildren. They live so close. It's like they could drive. I think he lives in Mexico, but they could even drive. Go for what to be dealing with all the hatred. The person who do the race comments was probably Camilla. Probably was. I don't know. I mean, I would think, hold on. I mean, it could have been anybody. Any of them could have said, if it's that one comment, Irene, it might be more that they're like insinuating. It might be more than just like, okay, well, what color is the baby's skin going to be? Which, like I said, even Chris Rock and like everybody knows, it's sort of like everybody has these conversations. Like, what's the, like my husband and I, what's the kid's nose going to look like? It's going to have my coloring, your coloring. Like we went through the whole thing. So we'll go for to be dealing. I mean, it's dysfunctional. There's a lot of dysfunction, but who doesn't have nuances in their family that they have to do it? About time to end your rift. They've done a lot of this drama. Healed because you're all embarrassments to the world. About time to end your rift. Yeah, I mean, they just need to end the rift for sure. Okay, she doesn't want to get booed. She would get booed, but Harry's going to end up getting booed. I don't think it's going to be as bad as they think. I really don't, because now if it was in America, yeah, I mean, but I don't think it would be as bad as they think. I think they'd get booed, but they're adults, and they're adults in the media. Walk through the booing, move on, and Meghan is pretty much withholding the kids as a form of punishment to both the fathers. And the fact that she has this pattern just goes to show that that's what she does. It's a matter of control. I see the misinformed about Prince Harry and Meghan. How about looking for the truth rather than listening to the poor millionaire victims? I wouldn't doubt if, okay, wait, are the ones writing this crap? I mean, we don't know. I mean, I think a lot of the media is fed, and I agree with Harry from his book that it's from both sides. They all use the media like a weapon. Hello from Georgia. My sister lives in Athens, Georgia. I love visiting. She herself said she doesn't read the press or social media. I don't know. She doesn't read the press. Are you talking about Meghan again? She doesn't read the press. She is darned if she do, darned if she don't. Stay in the comfort of your own home. Yeah, she would get attacked either way. I still think she should have gone. I think she should have gone because listen, it's like a historic event. For me, I don't know. This is how my mind, I get really into the brain part of it, like the logical side. I just figure like, even if I haven't reconciled everything, it's a historic event that's not going to come. I may have to, what we call plug and chug, or just kind of go through it like you're going to the dentist. But at least, okay, I'm there. We don't have to deal with that drama anymore. We can continue on either reconciling or whatever. But because it's the damned if she does, damned if she doesn't, which is exactly what we were saying, and which is exactly what you're saying. I think that then she should have gone because of the same reason that you said, because then at least you're erring on the side of, okay, you're giving them less fuel for fire, if that makes sense. But they still would have criticized that. They would have criticized what she was wearing. They would have criticized her expressions, how many times they're holding hands, all that. But you kind of just go because it's such a big deal, and they're not going to be focusing. I mean, there'll be cameras on them, but it's still King Charles's day. It's not like they would have so much camera time. She marries into the family and not part of it anymore, in my opinion. She marries into the family. Yeah, she's not. I don't think she can change her colors. She finally realized how much she's disliked in doing damage control, playing nice. Somebody mentioned that she sounds like a narcissist. That's what narcissists do. And I'm not saying that she is a narcissist, but it's narcissistic behavior because do you guys ever watch Dr. Ramani on YouTube? She's so good to focus on. If you ever, her name's Dr. Ramani. Anyhow, you could have like narcissists do this thing where it's like, let me destroy you at all costs But then, by the way, when I need a little, when my attack is not making an impact and you're still saying, I love you, you know, then they'll start to do the cleanup. They start to put on the sweet stuff again so that they can get you into that place where you trust them again. And then they go ahead and attack you again. Harry and Meghan and their children should attend events in family capacity because constitutionally they are all irrelevant. They should or they shouldn't. They should attend because yeah, just go to the thing. What about the recent, okay, let's get into this. Recent Daily Mail insane article where Kate literally took credit for Meghan being born because Kate's great grandfather freed me. Oh, that one I don't know. You're going to have to enlighten me now after this, Lumiere. I'm going to be going looking for the Daily Mail article on that. But thanks for letting me know. So I can't speak to it because I don't know. Now I will say, Anthony, I do think the UK tabloids and the press, and Lumiere mentioned Piers, they seem to have teeth. They seem to be master monsters. We think the US press is messed up because of all the lies and stuff. Oh my gosh, the UK press is absolutely true, like what Harry says. They are intense. They're very intense. I think Meghan's beautiful. She looks great in all of these pictures. So the rift won't heal until William and Harry apologize to each other. I have a feeling William's not going to be like, okay, Lumiere, I'm going to have to revisit that. Okay. So maybe it's Harry, the one that doesn't want Meghan to go. That is a possibility because maybe it would be because, listen, when he in his book Spare started talking about, people that he basically offed as chess pieces, in Afghanistan. So you're right. It could be look, to be on the safe side, it's going to stress me out to be there, knowing that my kids are there. Where is the security with you? How are we going to handle, but I will say that they spent $100 million on this event mainly because of security. But Harry did see his mother die, and she wasn't really given after she was out of the family, probably as much security as she should. She had it, but, so there's always going to be the need for that extra security, meaning internally too. So I think that's a good point. It's possible. There are things we don't know. We're just, commentators talking about it. Meghan didn't start the royal beef, but she intends to keep it going as long as she is getting attention. Yeah. Okay, they throw rocks and hide hands, then the other returns fire. Yeah, they're like, we're watching a giant snowball fight or a street fight. I'm sorry, Lumiere, I didn't put it up there, but he said, I think it goes both ways. He's talking to EH. Okay, Harry doesn't mind the press having teeth when it's on his side. Oh, that is true. She doesn't want to deal with the stress. It is stress. Listen, it's a lot less stress to just watch the coronation and be able to stay in your nice house with your kid. I know, because it's like a performance when you go out, so I get it. Okay. Who and why would the royal family would want to reconcile with Meghan Markle? Harry's believable. She is using this to her advantage. Harry has always been so likable. That's why we're also frustrated, because we saw this kind of fun guy. And I saw there was another article about this such a fun guy who's all of a sudden he turned into this, I don't know, this man who's so pissed off all the time. Had full royal protection, and she later dismissed them because she was paranoid. Yeah, and that is true. I did hear that too. She does Harry burned bridges with his books. And this is what I'm saying. It's oh my gosh, I don't want to, it would be selfish for me because they're paying so much attention to me. Why do they keep paying attention to me? Why do they want to know so much? Why are they so interested in this? And yet you're the one going, like for like months before that. So like it's hard for people to watch. It's hard for people to sort of understand like all of this, like why it's just wild. Okay, so I think everything in style, that article is pretty much the same, but let's read I thought that this was really interesting. Guys, I was fascinated by this. So let me read this article about the Pope. Okay, the Pope and the King and what he gave the King, because I thought that this was fascinating. It says that, okay, so the Pope gifted King Charles a religious cross that will be used in the coronation. Listen to this. 2 shards of the true cross, which is said to be the cross used in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, they're given to Charles by Pope Francis to mark the event. The small fragments, have been incorporated into the Cross of Wales, which will be seen by millions as it's carried into Westminster Abbey. So they're saying that the cross that they gave him was like part of it. Meanwhile, commentators have claimed that the king has handed Harry and Meghan an olive branch by including them in the official. Okay, so the cross thing is fascinating to me. But guys, Meghan, the king, as much as he was disappointed, he loves his family, including Meghan, because he's like, look, we put a family portrait in. It's got Meghan, it's got Will and Kate, their 3 kids. Unfortunately, it didn't have Archie and Lilibet in it, but that's the that's in the press. It's like it has their picture. So that's promising, I guess. He wants to heal too. It says King Charles is using the coronation to heal family division, including reconciling with Prince Andrew. So he's even like trying to like downplay anything regarding his brother. He just wants it. He wants harmony at this point. So yeah, the Palace PR team did a great job with Harry. Yes, he's very likable bloke, but also a petulant child. That is true. And the managed to keep the okay. I don't know what you were trying to say there, Lee, but they also managed to keep probably the press or something quiet. Okay, do you think William needs to grow up and get past the fact that little brother wants an adult life? Why are they calling her Meghan Markle? Why not call them Duke and Duchess? Have we can't commonize them? Yeah, you know what? I do that too, though, Colleen. I'll say Kate. I'll call her Kate, and I'll call Megan. They haven't had their titles taken away from them, so I don't know. Do I think William needs to? I think I would want to talk with my brother, and then I think William probably was the most shocked by this because I mean, this is just my opinion, but I think he really wanted his brother to be with him through, him becoming king and all of that. And so I think there was like this unspoken, not rule, but like agreement as to what you do and what you don't. And then he didn't do it. And the book did kind of get into things with Will. I was never that close. He beat me up. William could have helped me at this point, didn't. And then when Kate came, I basically was, not important anymore. So he's got an attitude too, I guess. But I think he should get over it. But I think he should call a talk with him. But the thing is, it's been told that the king and William will not talk to Harry without witnesses now because they're afraid of Netflix. They're afraid of things getting blown out of proportion. So that makes it harder. But yeah, I mean, he seems to be one of the most stubborn right now. Obviously the king is, but we don't know how he would react to his brother. And I don't know. But I think that he would need to, regarding his wanting his adult life. I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's a matter of William not understanding what it is to be the spare. The spare, in my opinion, it's a tough position because before they're on their own, it's like they're spoiled. They really are because everybody's concerned because they're not getting all this stuff. Andrew was spoiled and Harry was spoiled a bit, but then they're spoiled for a reason because everybody knows at some point they're going to need to figure it out on their own. And so Harry's way of figuring it out was to be a man in a sense and go out and try to make his way. And he made a lot of money. He did a lot of things. Granted, he sold out his family, but what on the one hand, what are they supposed to do? Like, they're going to try to make their own money and make their own way. They're cut off kind of. They have a certain amount of millions, granted a lot of millions, but can a prince, the son of the king, like, I mean, even live in like a $500,000, $1 million home, and which makes it sound like it's so, but can they? I don't know if they can based on like who they are. So he needed to find out his thing. And I don't think that William probably really could understand what it was like to be in that position. That's what my opinion is. And as far as us calling her Meghan Markle, why are we calling her? I just always do. I always have. I'm not as, I guess as an American, I'm not as, I don't have the etiquette down as well as other people. I give Will credit. He is sticking up for his wife. Yeah. Kate was like hit hard too with a lot of this. So, okay, back and forth. We have so many mixed feelings, rightfully so. I think we're feeling this way because it's just confusing. It's confusing. And, I'm hoping that people don't get upset with me. I mean, I have my own opinions, but I also can see both sides. If you listen to a lot of different royal commentators, they're a lot more definitive than I am. I tend to be a bit more empathetic toward Harry and Meghan, even though I also think, oh my gosh, what in the world? Like this could have been handled so much better. I think William and Catherine expect Harry and Meghan to do most of the work as a royal. Okay, wait. I think William and Catherine expected Harry and Meghan to do most of the work as royals. Oh. There are reports that Kate is not willing to return to work. She wants a reduced schedule. Yeah, they were working really hard. If you look at Anne, girl, like she's constantly going places. So that's a really good point that, of course, I wouldn't know anything about. In other words, the spare oftentimes can take some of the where they need to show up, some of the appearances and take that off your plate, which will make it easier. So yeah, it's possible. Meghan miscarried over all the drama. Very sad. Very sad. Thank you, Debbie P. Yeah. Very stressful. Harry said he can't, I just watched that clip. He said, I can't say for sure whether it was from this, but it was very stressful for sure. So, and then that's the other thing, like as empathetic as many of us are, as many of us can kind of get a sense of what it would be like to be in their shoes. We don't know, like even in bringing up the fact that, okay, maybe the security is an issue. Maybe there's that. And yes, Meghan did 72 engagements. She was crushing it as a royal. Like Meghan was loved. She was, she had some good things going on. And that's the thing that frustrates me is that I feel like she had a little bit of a creative and being with Harry too, like they're just a little different. Like they could have been so unique as senior royals. I think they would have had to fight for a lot of the things that they would have wanted, but I think that they would have won and they would have gotten their position. And in my opinion, she would have been excessively beloved in that country because she was doing so many amazing things and she did work hard and she was gracious and she settled into that position so easily because of her experience, in the press as a celebrity. And this is a good point. Like it's easy, it's easy for people to say, well, they had everything. But when you're in the entertainment business in America, for example, you make some really great money, even though she wasn't a huge top actress. You're used to making some good money. And then you also know that you're striving for something else that could bring you a lot more. So for her, it may sound like it's entitled, but you come into the royal family and you're like, is that all you get? You're getting like $300,000 a year for like living expenses, and again, it can sound like rich people problems, but when you're, the king, like the king's son, like it's like, how else do you really make it big and make all that money? And so they made deals. They negotiated some big deals to make some big money. In my opinion, I think they sold their soul. I think they could have done it in a very different way and still made a ton of money. They could have been big producers. They could have been highlighting so many other things, even as independent people, but they didn't. That's why I'm frustrated. I'm just frustrated with them because of that. They gave Kate $70,000 per month for her wardrobe alone. Oh, really? Come on. How is a person to live off of that for your clothes? I think they had a number of initiatives they wanted to do in terms of engaging young people. Yes, helping disabled vets, and those ideas got shut down. The other thing that I liked that she did, she had this, like, it wasn't like a soup kitchen, but there was like this building that all these apartments got burnt down, and she was starting this feeding program in this one town, and she was just so well received. $1 million on clothes for the first year is not nothing. Yeah, I was being sarcastic, especially since she goes to rent the runway, I don't know. I could not. I'm pretty sure I couldn't spend $70,000 a month on clothes. I don't think I would want, like, even if that only means like 10, 11, 12 new pieces of clothing. At the end of the year, it's so much. But you know what? Then you can't wear it again because, like, Kate does rewear clothes, but you don't want to rewear it too much because whatever. And here's my opinion as somebody that's in the entertainment business, because I've been in the entertainment business my whole life. Like, why do they even have to spend money on their clothes? Why aren't these designers just giving them the clothes? That's what they do for celebrities. But I guess the royal family probably wouldn't want it that way. But I'm just saying, wear my clothes to the red carpet, give it back. That's what the celebrities do. That Meghan wears more expensive clothes than Kate. I have heard that. I've heard that her tastes are very up there. But if you're talking $70,000 a month, I don't know. I heard that Kate is more into things like facials and massages and stuff than she is, because even her manicures alone, I'm sorry, but she doesn't do the whole, I mean, my nails aren't really done right now either, but she, just keeps like it very basic. Kate should fire her stylist. Some stuff is, I think she looks great. There are times though. There are times when I'm like, ugh, bad choice. But I think we did that with DEANNA too. I would spend it on something else. Yeah, I think 70,000. Maybe that's for her entire family. That's too much. Maybe that's not her clothing allowance. We have to do a whole thing just on fashion. Now, after saying everything that we've said, I think everybody can agree that Meghan is a gorgeous, gorgeous woman who, I like her style. I like her clothing style. I think she's always done a great job. I thought that her wedding dress was not tailored right. I liked the style, but like the sleeves were a little baggy. Everything, it wasn't tailored right. Yes, I heard that, Fred. And it's true, and Lionel Richie, but it's at the party. It's not at the actual coronation is going to have the most exquisite, more like classical music, but a lot of new songs. There's going to be like 12 new classical pieces, and it's going to be off the chain. Amazing. But the concert, I don't know who else is performing. If you guys know, let me know. Kate's allowance comes from out of the official household budget. They definitely give exorbitantly more money to the heir over the spare. So then you're trying to show up at a state dinner and the heir gets like all that money for their gown, and your gown is what? See, this is how I would be thinking. I would be thinking, okay, as an American entertainer, I want to wear that $50,000 dress. Why do we even have to pay for it and take it out of our budget? Because if I was going to the Oscars, I would have like 10 designers right here trying to pitch me their dresses. That's what I would be thinking. Oh, yeah, it's true. Kate's allowance comes from the Duchy of Cornwall budget. See, Harry and Meghan don't have that budget at all, that kind of budget. Don't her and Lionel have patronages? Katie? Katie? Are you telling me Katy Perry has a... No, I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting. You guys are bringing up so many interesting things. I have to take notes. I got to look at the Daily Mail now, and we need to come on just to talk about wardrobe budgets and makeup. I did see that Kate put on some colored nail polish, and that was like such a big deal. I was like thinking about, gosh, they never would ever have acrylics or a bling on her nails. It's in the article. Okay, no, I believe you. Royals don't take free clothes. Though that's what I'm assuming. You don't keep them, you just borrow them. It's like being like a model. But then again, it does make sense, Lee, that they wouldn't do that, because that would be the same as saying, okay, I'm a model for, you know, whatever, for that particular designer. But they keep buying from the same designers anyhow. What's that? It's Jenny Packham. That's what she wears a lot. How are the Spanish troops? I don't know. Okay. I am going to, let's take a couple more comments and then we will go. Prince Charles paid 4.96. Okay. You're going to be my money person every single time. 4.96 million pounds toward the activities of Prince William, his wife, and Prince Harry last year. That converts to about 6.5 million for the activities. Okay. Let's not forget King Charles paid for the wedding. Okay. So let's not check. Yeah. They also said that it's possible that Charles paid, even though they said that Harry and Meghan had to pay it back. But I heard that Prince Charles was the one to pay back the renovations at Frogmore. I can't imagine wardrobe wouldn't be. That's a great point. He's so into like this reusing thing. That is true. And I did hear that he did cut Meghan. He's like, I can't afford Meghan. He may have said, I can't afford that dress or something. I don't know. So, okay, I'm going to just say goodbye in a second. I remember popping off for malignant yet to be explained. Popping off for malignant forms of own central. Okay, I don't understand. Charles paid for William's wedding too. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to, they have to, because unless she was the princess and her family, because like whose family is going to pay for a royal wedding? Like you can't go traditional then. You can't be like, well, the bride has to pay for like this huge event. Kate paid for her own wedding dress. I did not know that. Why are we comparing money from this working royals? How many years Meghan's worked on this family? I don't know. We're just kind of going down a rabbit trail regarding that. It does make sense, I guess, that they're given that. I guess there's more in the budget from the Duchy of Cornwall since it's huge. Yeah. So anyhow, I'm going to go, but I am going to explore the article that Lumiere brought up, and I'm also going to want to talk about fashion and budget the next time. The UK citizens pay for the, yeah, because it's like some kind of state event, I guess. Okay, I'm going to go. I appreciate all of you guys. Please do subscribe to Hot for History, and I will be back. And this is really fun. I like hearing what you guys have to say, because I think this group is very, I think you're all really logical, you know, like we bring up the point. I mean, both sides, you know, I do wish in some ways that Meghan and Harry had played this a little bit differently, but it's messy. It's messy when there's a new monarchy. It's messy when there's family stuff involved. It's messy all the way around. And so Unfortunately, most families can keep that behind, and theirs is all public by choice. And even if it wasn't it by choice, some of it would have made its way into the public. So it is what it is. So thank you guys so much. Have a real, this was fun. Lumiere, I'm going to look up that article. If you're on Instagram, I'm hot.for.history. You guys can subscribe and also send me a note on Messenger there. Thank you, YouTube. We will see all you guys later.